I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I'm going to take it anymore. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the 549th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Holy cow, we made it. We made it to Thursday. I can't believe it. You know, it's always like that thing. I don't care who you are, when you're in school or you're at work or whatever you do and you take some time off, it's always kind of hard getting back in the swing of things. And I was off. Like, I don't do time away. Oh my God, it's Troy Ingram. Look at that. Counselor Troy Ingram. God, I miss you on the council. Man, I can't believe it. I wish you guys were on the council. Man, I tell you what, who would have thunk I would even say that I miss people like Brad Polk? Can't stand Brad Polk in the position he's in now. He's a worthless turd. A worthless turd. Listen, and I got to tell y'all something. Anytime I talk about him, and in the past I would talk about him, and I'd always say, like, you know, he always acts big and bad, but then when I'm around him, it's always like that scene in Teen Wolf when Teen Wolf's dad growls at the principal at the end and he makes him piss his pants. I brought that up, and Brad Polk actually brought that up to me, like in a literally in a conversation. He brought that up to me. He's like, well, you know, I don't mind working with you, but you just don't have to talk about that. Right? Look, Brad, listen, it's hyperbole, man. It's satire. I want to say out there, in case anybody's mental in the head, to my knowledge, I've never made Brad piss himself. I don't know. Maybe he has. But I don't think that's ever happened. I don't turn into a wolf when it looks I'm a little hairy right now. But I've never grown fangs and turned into a werewolf. I've never made Brad Polk piss himself, to my knowledge. It's kind of satire talking about the ridiculousness between when I look at him and when I deal with him as an elected official, and when he's away from me, he acts like a hard ass and he talks big and bad. But yet when we interact, he's all tame, and that's the thing. But that hurt his feelings, and so whatever. But even though he's a turd in the position he's in now, and it's just whatever, I miss him on the city council. Like I I miss the old city council people. I definitely miss Troy Ingram. Troy Ingram, now that is a city councilor that gave a damn about the people. He's a constitutional conservative, God-fearing, gun-loving American man, doing what's right for the city. Sometimes we agreed. A lot of times we agreed. Sometimes we disagreed, but we were able to talk, and he was easy to communicate with. He would answer text messages. He would answer phone calls. He would email back and forth. Good Lord. The people we've got now, man, it's nuts. I was just telling Kate right before we started, like, these people, man, they're so tiring. It's just so tiring dealing with these same people over and over and over and over and over again. Here's the thing. Troy received the gnarly finger. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Stumblefoot, it could be worse. It's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. It's not getting better. I think I'm to the point where maybe we're not like broadcasting through the revolution for what's better. We are broadcasting the downward spiral. I think that's what business as usual in the apocalypse. I don't think we're here to make the change. I think we're here to broadcast and talk about the destruction of this place that we need it. I need to talk about Prairie Creek. I need to talk a little bit more about Prairie Creek now that everything's done for the year. There's going to be major changes. I need to get a hold of you. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to write a note. I need to talk to you, Troy, off air. Like, I need to get a hold of you and talk with you kind of about what you're knowing, what you're hearing. There's a couple of other people that I need to talk with as well that I've talked to in the past and kind of get an understanding of what's going on. So I'm going to write that down to give you a call, make myself a note right here to call Troy. Call Troy in the next couple coming days or whatever. I'll shoot you a text. Here's what I'll do, if it's okay with you. I'll shoot you a text tomorrow, Troy, and just ask you like when you'd have some time coming up, maybe on the weekend or into next week, whenever you have some time that maybe we could chat on the phone and find out everything that you're hearing out there, everything that you're seeing, and find out what's going on. That would maybe be good, and kind of let people know what's all happening out there. I think that would be a big thing. I would like to ask people in Delaware County who thinks we need more apartments. That's funny. Paula, because we're going to be talking about that very thing tonight. Whoa. Troy Ingram says, they sent me a letter. I guess we aren't welcome back next year. Are you kidding me? You're not going to have your trailer out there next year? Are you serious? Is that for real? Like, that's not even, you don't have the ability to like apply or to like get in a lottery or something? Like, next year your trailer will not be out at Prairie Creek? Oh, wow. I don't know if you are comfortable, Troy, if you would screen, I mean, maybe you're not comfortable, but if you are comfortable, if you could like send us that letter, I would like cover your name up or whatever. I mean, you're talking about it here. I don't know if you are. If not, I can just request stuff from the city. I mean, I don't want to put you in a weird spot, but man, that sucks, because I know how much you love that. I mean, that's like you guys' life in the summertime. I'd like to know how many people they are kicking out of Prairie Creek. How many people have built up a life out there? How many people have built up friendships and obviously those friendships and things will remain, but to know that wow, I can appeal, but it has a lot to do with the water company and their contract. I'm comfortable sending you anything you need. Okay, yeah. If you could send that to us, if you could like screenshot that or whatever, or send a picture of it, and you can either send it to Kate, and I mean, we won't put it up right now or anything. I'd like to talk to you about it before and do an actual show and get some information. But yeah, I would like to see a copy of that, because I've talked to a couple people, but I haven't heard that they had started doing that yet. So that's there. And look, I get it, because there are people saying like it wasn't meant to be a retirement camp. But here's the thing. I mean, it's been something seems to be going on, because things have been operating like I didn't know that there were a lot of issues out there. I thought everything had been going smooth. So something is up. And I understand that they're saying like, well, it got well beyond where it was meant to be, yada, yada, yada. But like, I would really like to know how they're going about, who they're kicking out. And all of that. And yeah, absolutely, Kate. It's still bullshit. The water company is dictating who can rent space. We have been there for 10 years, host hog roast, a free concert every year, volunteer for Ironman, but we aren't welcome. There's definitely something going on. Yeah, I mean, and look, and I've heard it from more people than just Troy. And I that is a big deal. Res show. I do need to sit down and talk. I got a couple people. I need to talk to some people that I've talked with. And before we get into next year's election and the spring, I'll do that here real soon. I'll get a hold of you. I'll text you tomorrow, and we'll hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hello? Yeah.
Hey, I know you're talking about the reservoir and the lobs and all that.
Yeah.
They went into great detail on their board meeting 10/21/25 about these appeals, and
Okay.
they're going to have hearings, but they got to request it.
When was that?
This was their Parks Recreation Board meeting.
Okay. 10/25.
10/21.
10/21. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, I've got that marked down. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, okay, very good. That's good. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's... Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Everybody. So, and I knew normally I don't answer. There's only a couple people that I answer my phone to while I'm doing a show. First and foremost would be my grandparents or family. But I knew that person would have information specifically pertaining to what we were talking to. So that's why I wanted to answer. So that person said, and I did not see this, that there is on the Muncie City of Muncie Parks Board meeting from October 21st, 2025, they talked about the appeals process and everything along this lines. I did not see that. We were dealing with the funeral stuff. My grandfather, step-grandfather had passed away. We were up north dealing with that. So I will go back and look at this, and we'll do a show next week. I'll do a show on all of this and let people know, because apparently they're going to be voting on some stuff in December. So people need to know ahead of that what they need to do or whatever. So I'm glad that this is something that just organically popped up. That's a good thing. I appreciate that. So that's definitely a big thing. So yeah, I'll get a hold of you, Troy, and I'm glad that you spoke up and said that. Tonight is definitely going to be a Muncie-oriented, for the most part, Muncie, Delaware County show. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things that affect Muncie and Delaware County as a whole. And yeah, my grandparents. Yeah, it wasn't you guys tonight. Yeah, right. You guys were able to find the show. And well, I wasn't on the thumbnail wearing a different colored shirt. That's always bad. So yeah, we will look at. I will look at that that park board meeting. I'll talk with Troy and a couple other people. We'll do a show next week about all of this and get this figured out. Have the people know what's going on. Okay, so getting into tonight's show, episode 549. The show's called Biased News. Is the show plus Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC. What's that? Is that Dan Ridenauer's Crisis Center? No. It's got something to do with the Delaware County Delaware County mental health rehab treatment facility that they're apparently going to call Muncie Recovery OPCO. We'll talk about that here in a few moments. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Muncie Board of Works meeting, which came to us on Wednesday the 29th. And then we're also going to talk about this great news in the city of Muncie. Great news, everyone. We're getting some money from the Ready 2.0 grant, and it's going to go a long way to do a lot of good in Muncie. What's it going to do you ask? Well, it's going to build a bunch of apartments right on top of City Hall, right near and around City Hall, and apartments. And so if you're ready to hear about Muncie, the city of apartments, and you like that, then hit the like button. Give us that like. If you're not subscribed to the show, consider subscribing to the show. It does not cost you anything to do so. Click that subscribe button. Give us your finger, your thumb as your seal of approval. Click the bell so you get notified when we go live and drop the content outside of when we are live 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And communicate with us. If you want to live, you comment over there. If you want to comment, if you're watching live, if you're watching via the replay button in the future, you comment down below. And above all else, share the show with everyone you know. Now, before we get into this big Muncie deal, we do need to talk about the water situation in Madison County. No, there's not going to be any Madison or county talk tonight, and there's not going to be any talk about the water situation. But we do got to cover Russ Willis. No, we're not talking about Russ Willis either. No, tonight we're going to be talking about the Star Press. Well, after Dustin gets his chunk from writing the grants. Well, yeah, absolutely. I don't think this grant Dustin had anything to do with, but I think that he's marking down that he had stuff to do with. I don't know that Ridenauer would have left this grant for him to do. I think that even Ridenauer knows that Dustin is a goofball and probably shouldn't have had anything to do with this, but I think that Dustin has padded his invoices with information from the Ready grant. I do want to say we while talking about Dustin, we do want to offer the Muncie Woman and the Green Goblin a round of applause or cheers, hip hip hooray, or whatever you say, because they finally got married this last week or weekend in Florida. The Green Goblin, the monster, the green, what is he? The Green Goblin. Dustin Clark and Michelle Owen were wed in Florida, and I've heard that the mayor of Muncie attended that wedding, and I've really got to ask, what is going on? What is the deal between these two men? That Dan, just your employer, your boss, would travel from Muncie to Florida to attend your wedding. I want to know, was he the best man or the bridesmaid? What was the deal here? That is so weird. Did the city foot the bill for the trip and the wedding? Well, I'll tell you, one way or another, it did, certainly. Yeah, either from the funds from the city's solar eclipse fiasco, or all of this money that Dustin is making from this BS job that he's doing now, where he works very seldomly, but he writes down that he works all these hours on all this nonsense, getting paid lots and lots and lots and lots of money without any oversight on this. It's absolutely frustrating. So yeah, but we want to offer them condolences, or whatever you do when two people get married like that. It is what it is. Okay, so first up, we're going to be talking about this deal with the Star Press. Absolutely astonishing to me that from August, September, and basically all of October, I have been begging, pleading, questioning, tweeting, texting, Facebook posting, emailing, phone calling, sending up in smoke signals, out on carrier pigeons, questions, statements, comments, tweets, whatever you can think of. I've been sending the information out, asking, telling, demanding, questioning, wondering, pleading, whatever you want to say. Why is the Star Press no longer covering anything about the Muncie City Government? They commonly write about Delaware County government and things that happen in Delaware County meetings, but they've just basically stopped any kind of writing coverage, anything about the city of Muncie. They've not let us, they've not written to the public that gets the paper and said, hey, the city's in a budget process. The budget meetings are going like this. This is happening. This happening. That's happening. They've just not said anything. And I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get anybody at the paper to answer me back and tell me. Star Press's coverage of the No Kings protest was amazing. Hats off to those people. It worked. We still don't have a king. That's true. The Star Press covered that story. What's interesting to me is when I go to my Facebook account and I type in the Star Press on Facebook, I just did it yet again. I didn't believe it. I every time I try not to believe it. But look at this. I'm going to show you this. It's going to be hard to see, but you'll get the idea. So here's my Facebook. Here's my Facebook. I'm going to put it up here big for you all to see. Here's my Facebook. And I've got Star Press typed in over here in the search bar. Over here. And I hit enter. And there is nothing. The Springboro Star Press, the Star, the Shooting Star Press, the Buffalo News, and then there's things that I've written, and there's things that people have shared. Okay, but I do me a favor, Kate. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to the Star Press on Facebook and on Facebook share a link of the Star Press to my wall? Can you do that? Anything. I don't care what it is. It can be anything. I want to see how this works. While she's doing that, I'll go ahead and I'll pop back on here so you can see me. Because we know that you love seeing me. We'll wait on her to do that. I am, I guess, an enemy of the paper. And like, we got to say, like, what have I done? What have I done? Like, have I text them? Okay, Kate's already finished this. She's quick on the draw. So let's go over here and let me see what she's done. Okay, let me go to my profile and I'll pull it up so you guys can see. We'll let you guys, we'll pull you back in here and let you guys see this. Okay, so here's my profile. I'm going to make them big on the page so you can see it. We'll see this. Oh, look at this. Kate shared to my timeline just now, as we can see, something that says this content isn't available at the moment, which literally anybody and everybody on Facebook, you've been there for any amount of time, knows that's what happens when someone or something has you blocked, or they've taken something down. They've not taken it down. Kate just found it. But it says this content isn't available. They have me blocked. So that's the interesting thing. If someone goes to my if someone goes to my page, they can see what Kate posted, but I can't. They have me blocked. Kate says, or I thought that was Kate. It was Stumblefoot. You talk about what they won't write about. Now, I learned this by accident. Long ago, when they've had me blocked since. I'll tell you exactly when they blocked me. They blocked me in September of 2019. I've been blocked from the Star Press. I'm blocked from a newspaper. That's totally insane. And I found it out first because Doug Walker blocked me on Twitter. Stumblefoot says that's what it looks like when I search for Dan Ridenauer. Yeah, me too. So I found this out because when I go to Twitter, okay, and we'll show you here, and this is part of the story. This is what we're talking about, and this is all big. So when I go to my Twitter account, here I am. This is one of my accounts on Twitter, the Political Spotlight, Bilbrey Live. And I want to go up here and I'm going to search for Doug Walker. Doug Walker. Doug Walker. And I think it's the Star Press. I think that's his account. Let's see. I forget what it is. At Doug Walker, the Star Press. I think this is it. No, give me a second. Let me find out what his thing is. Doug Walker, the Star Press, Twitter. Okay, he is Doug Walker SP. That's what it is. Okay, Doug Walker SP. Here we go. Look at this. Okay, here we go. All right. Watch this. This is funny. How to make it work. Here's Doug Walker, Douglas Walker SP. Okay, we click on his name. We go down here. Okay. What does this say right here? What does this say? Douglas Walker SP has blocked you. You can view public posts from @DouglasWalkerSP, but you are blocked from engaging with them. You also cannot follow or message Douglas Walker SP. So this is the thing. I can go on here and see this crap, but I don't need to see it because I'm hearing and I'm talking about most of this before they are. I don't really care about any of this. And everybody's saying like, well, what does it matter? We get the news other places. Here's the thing. I know they're dying and I know they are nothing, but they are technically still the paper of record in our community. I am not a journalist, but I am, whether they like it or not, and I know it sucks for them and a lot of other people, I am a member of media. I am, I'm credentialed from the Indiana State House. I have legitimate State House credentials that say that I am a member of media in the state of Indiana. Okay. I've been given press passes, press releases, press credentials from several other different organizations, including the United States, the Southern District Southern District Court of Indiana, United States District Court, United States Secret Service. When Trump was in Indianapolis at the NRA convention in 2019, we were cleared by them. And so I get it. Maybe they don't like me or whatever, but just the fact that they will not allow me to engage with them or ask questions or give them information or share information is totally insane. And the reason I'm talking about all of this is because I think it's very troubling that they will not cover the administration. Thad says, remember when the Star Press was doing actual investigative journalism that led to the FBI investigations that toppled administrations? Now most of their articles read like press releases. Now most of their articles are national stories that they've got from USA Today, Gannett, all that nonsense. And the articles that are about local happenings absolutely read like press releases for said government, whatever they're doing. And the weird thing is, like, people are like, they have a liberal bent, but then they're also protecting the conservative, or not. Let me take that back. It's not conservative, excuse me. It's the Republican administration. And so it's crazy. Going to the, and listen, I still pay for the Star Press. Okay. I still pay for the Star Press. Yeah, and Stumblefoot, you are right. Truthfully be told, when anytime some smartass asks for press credentials, the truth be told, anybody can be media, anybody can be journalist. Your press credentials is the First Amendment. Your First Amendment is your press credentials. That is the press credentials, the First Amendment. I used to have a card that said press credentials, and then it read the First Amendment. But I talk about this because I've been bitching and trying. I've been emailing and writing, like legitimately writing old-fashioned notes and sending it up to the Star Press. I went up there one day and tried to make contact with somebody at their office, and it's like a ghost town. Nobody's there. You can't call. You can't get a hold of anybody. You can't call and get the news desk anymore. So then I was very surprised. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm joking. I wasn't surprised at all. Just, I guess, totally, I guess I'm not even shocked. I guess it was just like, yep, that makes sense. When on Tuesday, by like 6:00, this article appeared on the online version of the Star Press. Mayor, state funding will help bring 88 new residential units to downtown Old West End. Douglas Walker, the Star Press. Look, there's all these ways that you can get in contact with him. You can get in contact with him, but I can't. Robert says, it's like the local paper down here. There are still important things that people in the community should be informed about. Nobody reads paper any longer, even online. Absolutely. Look, there are still a few. I would like people to be able to get some of the information, but you read this information, you're like, oh, look, they did a story on the Star Press, on the city of Muncie. They do a story a year. Everything must be good. Look, everybody reads this and they think, yeah, we're gonna reelect Ridenhour again. He's doing great. They don't know what the truth is. Listen to this. 54 of the new homes with what is this? What's the key points? What are the key points? Let's read these key points together. 54 of the new homes with B in a 4-story apartment building. What's that mean? Do they mean will be? With B. 54 of the new homes with B in a 4-story apartment building to be known as High Point Station, to be built across High Street from City Hall. In addition, 30 new homes will be built in the nearby Old West End neighborhood, while 4 existing houses there will be renovated. Muncie, Indiana. Mayor Dan Ridenhour on Tuesday, October 28th, announced the city would be receiving $6.75 million in Ready 2.0 funding from the state. The mayor said that money would help bring 88 new residential units to our community. How many apartments? This is the single number one conversation that I have with my grandparents day in and day out. Every single day, I guarantee you, they're gonna call me. I'm gonna call them. My grandma's gonna say, "Hold on, your grandpa wants to talk to you," and my grandpa's gonna say, what are they doing with all of these apartments? We drive by them, all these apartments. Where are these people coming from that they're going to stick in these apartments? Are they moving out of homes? Then are we going to have empty homes? Are all of these people coming to Muncie? I'm not hearing of these people. I've heard of some. Muncie on my move, they've like had like 10 or 15 or 20 of them, or 8 or something like that. We're not having, what is this? 54 of the new homes will be in a 4-story apartment building to be known as High Point Station, to be built across High Street from Muncie City Hall. In addition, 30 new homes will be built in the nearby Old West End neighborhood, while 4 existing houses there will be renovated. The announcement came at a Tuesday afternoon press conference at the future site of High Point Station. Indiana Governor Mike Braun attended the event. His presence was apparently a major motivator for more than 24 protesters who shouted, chanted, and activated sirens and blew whistles during a 15-minute event. Most of the shouting and chanting involved Braun's decision to call a special session of the Indiana General Assembly next week to redraw Indiana's congressional districts at the request of President Donald Trump. No redistricting, the protesters chanted. Hands off our maps. No one speaking at Tuesday's event addressed the redistricting. Well, of course not. Mayor Ridenour said without the support of the state's READY Regional Economic Acceleration and Development Program, major housing projects wouldn't be possible. The mayor said the city of Muncie, like a lot of other Hoosier communities outside of the Indianapolis Beltway, did not have rents high enough to support local new construction. So when the state will come in and partner with us and other communities across the state, it helps fill that gap, Ridenour said. It allows developers to come to our community and provide housing and other opportunities. After receiving word about the READY grant funding last week, Ridenour said he immediately called Nate Howard at the Muncie Land Bank, and then I called an official at Intend Indiana, the developers, and I told them at Intend Indiana, the developers, and I told them you can start spending money. The mayor said the High Point Station development will be similar to the nearby White River Lofts. A park is also planned north of the new apartment building. It's going to be beautiful, Ridenour said. It's a gateway into downtown. Ridenour said the city's matching contributions to the READY project have included area infrastructure improvements and purchase of land parcels. That's something that I'm waiting on. I'm currently waiting on records from what the Flatland Resources are doing at High Point Park. What are they doing? How much are they charging us? You all heard on Sunday when I read the amount that we've been paying Flatland Resources to do the work that they've done, the minimal amount of work that they've been doing out at Till Pond. They've made what did Carrie say? They've about $114,000 they've made somewhere, approximately. What? It was just a press conference, so it's not necessarily true. We need to get the emails. Can you really call it homes if they're apartments in a 4-story apartment building? Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, this is This is so interesting. It's so strange. This is so strange. It's going to be beautiful, Ridenhour said. It's a gateway into downtown. Ridenhour said the city's matching contributions to the Ready project have included area infrastructure improvements and purchases of land parcels. The Old West End properties where the new homes will be built include land donated to the Muncie Land Bank by Muncie and Delaware County governments. This kind of development is really a form of justice, bringing new opportunities and investment to neighborhoods that bore the brunt of Muncie's post-industrial transition, said Howard, executive director of the Land Bank. Stephen Meyer, CEO of Intend Indiana, said with the support of the state, 19 of the new homes will be made affordable to low-income homeowners. So out of 88 properties, 19 of them are going to be affordable to low-income homeowners. The governor speaking briefly over the heckling of protesters called Muncie a community that's rolled up its sleeves. This is the exact kind of thing I want to see across the state, Braun said. Later on Tuesday, protesters and their megaphones moved to the Cornerstone Center for the Arts, where Braun was attending the Republican Party function, and that's the end. You notice what's really interesting is most of that focused on the protesters. It didn't really talk anything about like what's going to actually be happening. It's really strange. Like, so they covered this, but they covered it barely. But they've literally still not said anything about the ordeal with Shireen Wagley and Dale Basham and that resolution fiasco. They've not said anything about that. The paper's still not said anything about the budget process. Yeah, no drawings of what this will look like. I'm sure the city has it. And I know that the mayor of Muncie did one of his videos that he sends out, 4 or 5 minute long videos that he puts out. Here's from the city of Muncie. For immediate release, October 29th, 2025, City of Muncie awarded $6.75 million in Ready 2.0 funding to advance downtown housing and gateway project. The city of Muncie is proud to announce that it's been awarded $6.75 million in Ready 2.0 funding to support transformative development in the city's core, including new downtown housing and the creation of a signature gateway experience. An experience, I hear. The funding, when combined with over $10 million in city infrastructure investment, will be used to advance 2 major initiatives: the Muncie Central City Housing Project, which includes 34 new homes in the Old West End neighborhood, and the High Point Station Downtown Gateway, a 4-story multi-use building featuring a public green space and a gateway art installation. Isn't that wonderful? Ask for what, Rachel? Yeah, right? Why aren't we using this amount to build this fire station? Moreover, why aren't we building a fire station for $5 million instead of $11 million? Moreover, why aren't we sitting down at the table trying to negotiate, push, force Ball State to help us? Troy Ingram, putting his former counselor hat on, says, was there a housing study done to prove we need this housing? Really interesting question, because all of the housing that we've done, all of the apartments that Dan has talked about how wonderful they are and how wonderful the city is because he has created them. I don't know if there's been housing study for any of them. Rachel, I've sent 2 or 3 emails. Listen, for anybody, for anyone out there who, give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up. Right here we are. Give me a second. Right here we are. Right here we go. I'll put it up here. It's real easy. For anybody that wants to send an email to Douglas Walker and ask why he has not covered any of the information that I've just talked about, why he's not covered the city's budget process, why he's not covered the city's attempt at building a new fire station, which seems to be a really important thing. If we're going to do it, if we're not going to do it, if we're going to question why we're doing it, just the fact that we're wanting to start used to be something that would be front page headline above the fold. That what happened with the funky Dale Basham, Shireen Wagley fiasco over the resolution, any of that stuff would be important. Any of that would be important. You can send him an email to dwalker@muncie.gannett.com. dwalker@muncie.gannett.com. Send it to him. Anybody should send it to him. I think that people should reach out. He won't respond to me. His boss won't respond to me. People below him won't respond to me. So maybe someone else needs to reach out and ask him. I do think that's very important. Thad says, how many of these standalone houses will be available for purchase on day one, and how many will require you to rent them for a decade before you're allowed to enter into a purchase agreement? Very good question, because we know that there are a lot of homes that are out there that Ridenour has said, well, you've got to pay on them for 15 years. And then after paying on them for 10 to 15 years, once it's time to go in and do a new roof, and once we need to fix the air conditioning unit, once we need to do, a new furnace, and once everything's gone to pot. And really what'll happen is it'll be, by the time you've rented it for 15 years, and the first 10 people that rented it for a year then got kicked out, and one person rented it for 6 months then got kicked out, there'll be several different people. By the time you've actually got your 15 years in, the house is going to be in a condition that's like, the bank's not going to give you money to do all that. So yeah, really good question. Really good question. That, and here's the problem. I can ask Ridenour this, but Ridenour won't answer the questions. I can send an email to Ridenour, but Shireen Wagley will get it, and she'll gatekeep. And she'll either send a shitty response back. Have you all heard this? Have you? Sir Ballman, absolutely. Some Board of Works members get paid, you dummy. I love it. They rent knowing no one will last 15 years. They collect the money and know a new person will be in it for a few years. Yeah, that's exactly right. Here's the thing. That's great. Did anybody see the ordeal that occurred between Shireen Wagley and a Shireen Wagley and a city employee, where the city employee had tried to email the mayor, and Shireen Wagley was gatekeeping. Have any of you seen this? Hold on. Let me pull this up. Okay. Delaware County uncensored. Here we go. It's gonna be right here. Okay. Let me see here. So basically what happened was a citizen let me try to find it here. A citizen had, or excuse me, an employee of the city of Muncie had tried writing an email to the mayor, and the mayor's secretary, Shireen Wagley, had got involved in it and was gatekeeping, was not letting Dan see it, and was not answering back and forth with the information. And then Shireen went to social media. Someone called Shireen out, and then Shireen talked about what was in the emails privately on the post, and it's like, no, dude, that's so gross that you would be doing that. And then there's people literally okay, here it is. All right, here we go. Here it is. City of Muncie. I would tag Mayor Ridenour, but he's got me blocked along with his assistant, Shireen Wagley. Shown here being rude and unprofessional while on the clock for the city, not to mention admitting to being a barrier for emails meant for the mayor. It's inexcusable. Unnecessary and combative responses appear to be the norm from the mayor's employees, and it embarrasses our city. When can we expect at least Shireen's resignation, especially after, according to sources, allegedly filing Resolution 1725 with signatures from 1625 rather than getting new ones? That's not legal. The signatures are copied. That much I can say as a fact. Whether or not she did it on her own or was directed is still unknown. Councilman Dale Basham is on record saying he did not file 1725. This is after he was caught unaware he had signed to file 1625, but later stated that he was asked to come in and sign off on it. So not only are some employees rude and unhelpful, but some are clearly inept in doing their job, inept at doing their job, and would rather spend their time harassing people with their personal accounts while taxpayers foot the bill. This is not a new story, so we continue to wait for some sort of resolution to this matter. Dan, either employ policies to keep your people in line while they are working for the city, or find new employees instead of campaign supporters. If people want to be trash, then let the Muncie Sanitary District have them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then this person had shared a post Let me show it to you here. Here's the post where, and it's going to be hard for you to see, but I'm just showing you that it's here. So Rick Fertrell says his office needs to answer emails. I sent a somewhat time-sensitive one last week. All I hear is crickets. To which Shireen Wagley says, "Ha, who wants a union?" Rick says, "Shireen, how do you know what my email was about?" Shireen says, "Because I'm the one that saw it. Good luck bringing in the union." Rick said, "Are you able to get an answer to the email?" Nora Evans Powell says, "Aren't you working today? Are you treating Mr. Fertrell so disrespectfully from your desk in the mayor's office?" Now, I will say, I went back and looked, and apparently this happened on a Friday. And to give Shireen a little bit of credit here, she's always off on Fridays. She doesn't work on Fridays. Just Fridays are days that she does not work for the city of Muncie. Not because she only works 4 days a week. She's supposed to work 5 days a week, but she just always almost takes Fridays off. The amount of time that people aren't working in the administration would blow your minds. It would blow your minds. Now, that's not to say that Shireen doesn't do what she's being accused of here, because if she was at work, she would still be doing this very thing, being rude, responding privately and being rude to people on the clock. She does it all the time. She also does that on Monday. She does that on Tuesday. She does that on Wednesday. She does it on Thursday. If she gets back to ever working Fridays, she'll do it on those days too. Okay, that's just par for the course. I cannot tell you how many times that I have texted Dan Ridenour over the years, and said, "Dan, you have to do something about Shireen. It's nuts. You must do something about this. You've got to do something about this." And I just cannot tell you, it's crazy how many times he's responded back and said, "Yes, I will. Yes, I'm going to do something about it." And she would stop for a while, but then he just stopped answering. Like on the 5th, 6th, 7th time I've responded or texted him about it, he just stopped. He just does not respond anymore. And it's crazy. So then Nora says, aren't you working today? Are you being disrespectful? To which Shireen Wagley's answer back to Nora is, like, what does that mean? Why can't you just answer the question? You're not answering the question because, first off, you're not at work. You should be at work, but you're kind of in a really weird situation here. But it just doesn't matter. I digress. We're getting off topic. The bottom line is, any of this crap could be covered. Any of this crap should be covered by more than just me. Shireen Wagley, Amber Green are both very artful in their craft. Troy Ingram says, yes, that's very true. That's a very, very true statement. And, if that's what the mayor wants, again, I have to go back and say, number one, I don't know how that jives with the mayor's promise to improve communication, improve transparency, improve accountability. I don't know how that jives with that. And then after that, I don't know how it jives with his campaign promise to hire the very best people possible. Improve communication. We're seeing that he's not done that. Improve transparency. He's not done that. Improve accountability. There is no accountability. We know that he's not slowing government down. He speeds it up faster and faster and faster. Improve relationships between the city and the county. Okay, maybe he's done that. But the only reason that he's done that's because now Stephen Brand is there. And so, okay, whatever. So this is just a problem. It needs to be looked at. It's something that they need to take care of. And it's very bad. Lastly, he was to put the very best people in place. And I'll let you decide if Ridenour has put the best people in place. Has he ever done that? Ever once? Even just one time? Has he ever put the right people in place? Shireen is the rudest piece of art on Dan's trophy shelf. I like it. I like it. So that's a huge no. Yes, right, Kate. Absolutely. So that's that. We will move on to the next bit of topic here, and I will keep you posted about what goes on with Star Press and the battle to get them to do their jobs. It's not there. They're going to continue. They're just like everything else. They're going to continue getting worse and worse as they circle the drain until it doesn't mean anything. It is what it is. Okay. So from there, ladies and gentlemen, we next go to Delaware County. Okay. Shireen will eventually do something to hurt Dan's reputation. There are several people. I'll say this. There are several people that work for Ridenour there are several people that work for Dan that I fully believe, or I could expect any day to wake up and think, uh-oh, these people have done something that has hurt his credibility. There are several people that I believe could be in that position. And I would like to think that when those people do screw up and do that the people of Muncie will be able to see it for what it is. But I don't know that they will. I'll be honest. I honestly don't know that they actually will be able to. Okay. So moving on to the next topic. We got to get going here to the Delaware County Mental Health Facility. So, ladies and gentlemen, over the last several months, I've been talking to you definitely since Stephen Brand became commissioner-elect. So since November of last year, I've been talking to you about the mental health facility that the Delaware County government built or stated that they would build or has been building. This was something that the Cowboy Kid commissioners, Shannon Henry and James King, put together. Their sleepy sister, Commissioner Sherry Reagan, was a part of it. And what they did was this was like a last ditch effort that they told to the people that were really protesting the jail being moved from downtown to the south west corner of the city of Muncie, right on the line. And there were a bunch of people protesting this move, and there were a bunch of people saying, "Hey, there's more things we need to be working on. We need to be working on getting a mental health facility, a drug treatment facility." And finally, they said, "Well, if we move out here, we'll be in a big enough campus. We'll be able to build something. We'll be able to have something." And then they moved in, and they just didn't do anything for a long time. And people kept pushing. When are you going to do it? When are you going to build it? Well, finally, they said, okay, we're going to do it. And they started the process of building this. And they were talking about bringing in recovery solutions. And it didn't take very long for me to look into it didn't take very long for me to look into Recovery Solutions and for me to determine that there was major problems with Recovery Solutions. They were filing bankruptcy. They had been sued a bunch. It was not looking good for them, and they were still lined up. And then the big shock came when we learned, ladies and gentlemen, that the commissioners had built this and they'd planned for this and they put everything in place, except they didn't put in place the funding mechanism. They were so excited to do whatever it was that they were doing that they didn't actually put in place the money that it would take to operate this facility for 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. They didn't put that in place. They did not do what it took to get that put in place for 365 days a year. They couldn't fund it. And they talked about the possibilities. Well, we might have to let it set empty. We might have to have somebody else move in and do something different here. We might use it for an animal shelter. We might just sell it off and have somebody else come in totally all together doing something totally different. Okay, and this is the county side. Like Troy said, don't get him started on the drug treatment facility for the city, because he's still pissed about that. It was ridiculous. What's going on with the Muncie Crisis Center is a total joke. It does not help people. They don't do anything. They barely keep it functioning. Okay, but then this county thing was supposed to be better because it was going to be a long-term stay place. Well, nobody had funded. They hadn't funded it. The King and Shannon hadn't set up the funding for this thing. And it was something that Stephen Brand was very concerned about. And I've heard a couple things over the last couple of months. Well, I am happy to say, and I have not looked all the way through this, so I cannot say if this is going to be an up or down, if it's going to be a win or a flop. I don't know yet, but I'm telling you, as of right now, it looks like the county has a solution for this treatment facility. And if it in fact turns out to be what it looks like, this could be a big win. And if this is in fact the truth, then this would be a big win for Stephen Brand. If this works out like it's supposed to work out, it's not going to be a big win for James King. It's not going to be a big win for Shannon Henry. Yeah, Shannon's there, so he'll get a little bit of it. But I think that Stephen Brand has been working on this since he's been hardcore, since he's been in office, been working to try to get something going here, because the county couldn't do it. The county did not have the funding to do it. They've said it. I asked Delaware County Councilor Matt Kantz ahead of them approving the budget for 2026. Let me tell you what my question to Matt Kantz. This is Delaware County Councilor Matt Kantz. He's currently running for commissioner. Let me tell you what, let me give it to you right here. Okay, this is what I said. Okay, quick question. Is it true that the county, you guys, the county, money has not been budgeted for operational funds for the county's mental health facility? This is what Kantz said, and this was on September 24th. He said, no one has asked us to fund money for it. And even if they had asked us to fund money for it, there is no extra money for it. we avoided cutting heads this year. That is a win. I said, yes. I said, so off the record, and I will say this because nothing happened. I said, off the record, what's happening with it? And as of September 24th, he said, so far, nothing. There's currently not a certificate of occupancy that I'm aware of. There's no money to open it at this point. And this was either the day they funded the budget or just right around the day after, the day before, right around when the budget was approved by the county. This is a Delaware County councilor who's in charge of the council, who's running for commissioner. Oh, a lot of money. I forget. I've got those figures somewhere. Maybe we could look it up. I don't know. A lot of money. A lot of money to build it. A lot of money. Troy Ingram says drug rehabilitation is a talking point with local politicians. They don't take it seriously. It doesn't bother me that Brand will get the credit. He did take up the torch that no one else did. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's just on the county side. I'm happy with it. What Dan's done, the city crisis center is a complete joke. And Dan did that for his picture in the paper when he was running for, I've said it since day one. It was a campaign token for him, and it was a feather in the cap for him. That's all it was. Dan's approach to the crisis center has never been serious. It was always a joke. People got rich off buying and selling the building several times and keeping the liquor license and trading the liquor license and all that nonsense. The crisis center it's a joke today, as it has been since day one. And it sucks. And you should have been, Troy, you should have been more involved with that. They should have allowed you to be more involved with that. Dan should have had other actual people involved other than the people that just made him look good and was good for a good PR stunt for his re-election campaign. Kantz went on to say, it will most likely need to be leased to an operator. So that's what he said back then. And I'm like, okay, so that's where we stand. I hadn't heard anything else. I had been hearing some talk about a couple of different things. I'm not at liberty to say what those are, but I will tell you, as of today, I can tell you, I'll let you hear this. This was first discussed back on October 20th. So this was 10 days ago at the commissioners meeting, and a lot of people probably haven't heard this. A lot of people probably didn't even know that this happened, and that's why it's important to watch these things, hear these things, attend these things, or at least watch like programs like this that will discuss it afterwards. So I want you to listen to this.
15-year lease agreement that you have in front of you. Different direction. The lease agreement we would have been responsible for getting, and we've been working for, I apologize for the late, but they were very good. There were only a couple small corrections, so I would make a motion to approve the minutes with the noted corrections.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Reagan.
Yes.
Commissioner Brand.
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes. Next, we have contracts and agreements for approval. We have the Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC.
So this is the mental health facility that was recently completed, and I think we took ownership of it in the last meeting. What we have in front of us today is a lease agreement between what will be an LLC named Muncie Recovery OPCO, but this is part of Indiana Treatment Centers. So the commissioners previously were working with Recovery Solutions, and this Board of Commissioners terminated that agreement, and we've been working for, my goodness, maybe about 4 months now, trying to get this in place. Appreciate all of the work done by Danielle and Mr. Brooks' office on doing this. So previously, with Recovery Solutions, the county would have been responsible to recruit, onboard, train the personnel. We would have been responsible for getting patients and agreements in place from other counties. We would have been responsible for certifying that facility for Medicaid, and all the
Listen.
billing was going to go through the auditor's office. And even at full capacity, which was 40, irrespective if it was 20 males and 20 females or 40 of each, it was still going to cost the county a pretty good amount of money each year to operate this facility. So that's the reason we went a different direction. The lease agreement you have in front of you puts those responsibilities onto.
So that's a good thing, because what King and Shannon had worked out was Recovery Solutions. It was a joke, but they went a different direction. And I Brand will be like, oh, it was a team effort. I think it was all very much Brand. I'm just going to say I'm just going to call it how I see it.
Indiana Treatment Centers, they'll be responsible for running the billing. Once they get possession, which is part of the agreement that you have in your packet today, they'll start the process to get certified by Medicaid. They will recruit and train on board all of the personnel, and they will pay us to lease the facility. So this is a 15-year lease agreement that you have in front of you with multiple 15-year extensions. You can see that the lease rates start at $17 an hour, and or $17 per square feet, and then they escalate each year through the first 15 years. And that would end up at $25.71 per square foot. And then you'll have options for term extensions. Basically takes us out to like the year 2112 or 2113, something like that, if you were to execute all the lease extensions. If you only go with the 15, it takes us to 2040. And I don't know if there's too much else to highlight. It's a triple net lease. The tenant will pay the real estate taxes. That's big improvement. This thing will have positive tax dollars, and it's generating positive revenue for the county.
I didn't notice the future commissioners will be in charge of putting a new roof on things.
Yep. So, yeah.
Which is only fair getting this kind of money. I would like to suggest on the page 1 of the payout, the initial terms, that we put the year that we start, because 75 years later, someone down in the auditor's office,
I agree. Yeah. And there's I don't know if it's
The highest bidder, the lowest bidder. It just depends on whatever works out for Dan. But yeah, I mean, it'll be set. Who knows what'll happen with it at that point.
Amendment C or D, Sherry, in the back of your packet that has that date on it. That's what we'll have to execute today. And you were talking about the repairs. Depending on what the repairs are in this lease agreement, the landlord will reimburse the tenant for tenants out-of-pocket expense incurred in connection with the lease, not to exceed $50,000.
appreciate you working on this.
Yeah, I was skeptical at first, but I think after meeting with individuals several times that we have, and speaking with them and them touring the facility, and I think it's a good plan
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a good plan for Delaware County. I also appreciate Danielle and John working on this. I know it's taken some time. Stephen, all your work on it, appreciate it. But I think it's time to move forward here.
Yeah, and we did visit one of their facilities in Columbus, Indiana, and walk through it and got to see how they operate.
It's good business people. How many
believe so.
states are they in, I believe?
I think six, including their real estate arm.
Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
A motion to approve this lease agreement in a second. Roll call, please.
I do have a question first.
Yes.
It's in reference to the day of possession, whenever they actually taken possession of the property.
That's yet to be determined.
Yeah, so we have certificate of occupancy, and the commissioners took ownership of that in the last meeting, and we're currently getting all the bills switched over into our name, so it'll be the soonest possible date.
So who would determine that, and who's going to notify who? So we get this contract fully
The
executed?
commissioners will determine that with Nelson
Right.
and communicate it to your office.
That'd be in a meeting, so we put,
Sure.
okay.
Yep.
Right,
It'll be soon.
okay. Who made that motion? I'm sorry.
Sherry.
Sherry made the
Sherry,
motion.
okay.
Second by Stephen. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Yes.
Commissioner Reagan,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
So there you go. Very little said about all of this. I mean, what's going to be happening? Who's, they talked about it. This is, again, we're talking about the county's not crisis center, long-term facility, mental health, drug rehab, that whole thing that we've been talking about for several years. It's basically going to be ran by somebody else who's going to be leasing and going to be in charge of everything. And it's sounds like it's going to be a pretty good deal. Now, I'm saying that I did contact Commissioner Brand ahead of this episode, and I did say, any way you can send me anything you have on the Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC deal, and I sent him my email address. He then sent back to me, what are you looking for? Why do they always have to make it so hard? Everything you have that's public related to this. If you got it in an email, send it to me. I said lease agreement, whatever's been sent to the council for the upcoming public hearing, anything that would count as public records for the Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC, I guess. To which he says, we'll send lease agreement approved in commissioners meeting, no problem. Okay, well, that's fine, I guess, for right now. I will send an official records request, and then you will send me everything. Don't make this pulling teeth. Man, don't have to be so hard, man. Just give me everything. You're going to have to eventually anyways. You might as well just do it now without it being a problem. Now, he said that he would send me the lease agreement. I'm checking my email. I still don't have it. He's not sent it to me as of the airtime here, so I guess we're going to have to wait until another time. I hate that. I wish I would have had that ahead of time, but maybe he's doing something really big and important right now. I'll give him a little bit of time. I just sent this to him this evening, so whatever. That being said, I'll say it sounds like this is going to be a good deal. Sounds like this is going to be deal. Probably could be a good deal. Hopefully, it will be a good deal. Time will tell. I don't know. I will tell you that I looked them up. Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC. I looked them up on the Indiana business lookup. Okay, here at the Secretary of State's office. We click on this. Muncie Recovery OPCO LLC, Foreign Limited Liability Company. Creation date 10/6/25. So they just were created, at the beginning of this month. Principal office address 665 Grand Avenue, Suite 200, Des Moines, Iowa. Original formation date 9/2/25. Active perpetual. Manager Michael K. Nelson, which is the name that they said in there. Business commercial registered agent. Okay. They said that this was part of a larger company, Indiana Treatment Centers. And Indiana Treatment Center has been around for a long time. They've got centers in other areas. I don't think a lot of times, dilly bars, a lot of times that being just created would give me pause. I don't think that's that big a deal here. I mean, this is a legitimate company. I don't think that there's some things that you hear and you don't get much information on, and you're like, I wonder, this seems a little fishy. I don't feel as bad here. I think that this is, I'm going to get everything and it's going to look normal, and I'll give it all to you. We'll look at it. We'll post it out. I'll share you everything. But these people seem pretty put together. They've got offices in Columbus and Mishawaka right now. And it seems like with their information, they're going to be able to come right in, because we've already built everything for them. All they got to do is bring the bodies, bring the bodies of the doctors and the counselors and the nurses and the techs and everybody, and they've got a brand new facility ready to see people. So as we heard the commissioner say, they did this was the 20th. So that would have been last Monday, not just a couple days ago, but a week and a couple days ago. 4 days, a week and 4 days ago. And then on the 22nd, they did a presentation for the Justice Center people, prosecutors, courts, public defenders, police, the county police, and all that stuff. So they did that. I haven't talked to any of them. I will reach out to like the prosecutor's office and a couple people in the sheriff's department that I know that and see what their thoughts on this are. I've also will be waiting to see what the records I get from the county are as well. But before we move on to the Board of Works, and we're getting ready to wrap up, and I won't keep you forever, but I do want to share this with you. And I have not been able to find this yet, but I was talking to Jackie Fisher earlier.
This process and indicates that he's his feedback has been very positive. So
let me see here.
Weekly or bi-weekly touch bases on questions and things, that'd be great. We're going to be having to look at a proposal from Google to before the end of this year.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. I guess now do we have any comments, concerns, or questions regarding those dates?
I'm assuming that when you were working on it, I didn't get a chance to go look, that you accounted for when spring and fall breaks fall. Okay.
Hearing no other questions or comments, concerns, roll call, please.
Let's hear. I think it might be right after this.
Flanagan.
Yes.
They talk about something
Yes.
about this.
Yes.
This is the
Rudolph.
county
Yes.
council. Give me a
Piper.
second.
Yes.
Mr. Cantz. Yes. Swyatt.
Let's hear what
Yes.
they talk about next.
Marissa, if you would also post that online, so that way we have that.
Let me go look and see if I got the county
Other
council.
new business.
All right.
I would like to at least discuss the idea of, and I'd like to hear the auditor's opinion on it, moving to 24 pay system versus the current 26/27 every 11 or 12 years, whatever it is, and what are the pros and cons?
Okay, and it's also in the handbook, I believe, things like that, and it opens up efficiencies in the department to do that. In my experience, anybody that's executive or didn't know this before, what works for us? Foreign to me. Most, in my experience in the past, was they would be on a fee basis, $100,000 on a continuation on the copier thing.
And I only speak for myself, but I probably speak for some other department heads and elected officials. Historically, with the
number of calls that we have,
Not the
a coroner should or should not factors,
Okay.
or all the time
I'm still trying.
kicking over, and then also,
us with
well,
The LSA projects a 5.1% increase in property tax revenue in but it's not 5.1%. It's
Talking the same language.
with the state.
Okay, so it's going to be before that. Hold on.
Anybody,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you have to organize every year.
Are we gonna need to post that then? If
I would hope that a few of us would be able to attend from council at that meeting.
I don't like what just happened there.
told Eugene that I had, I'm actually, this was my initial idea. At the same time, I actually think the hiring freeze is actually more prudent and probably more of the criteria we should be utilizing to analyze the
It should be
Yeah.
right here.
replacement positions. But to Bill's point, the budget is in place. It's there. I just think that we're going to need to have a sit down with everybody to have where are we going to go from here? Plan with all of our department heads and elected officials. So if that's our next step, that's great.
Thank you, Matt. Dan, do you have a comment?
I think that we all agree this is going to need some adjustments, some work, so I'm not opposed to bringing it in and seeing how it works, so we have the problem kind of fine-tuned by the time we actually have to make those unfortunate decisions.
So if you're open to it, President, Mr. President, I will work on language with Ben initially so that we can stimulate this conversation and have a meeting of the mind. Meeting. I think when is your typical department head meeting? Second Monday of the month.
Here we go.
And maybe we
Hold
can do
on.
it, because Commissioner Brandt hosts a department head meeting currently, but we also may have to have something more legally.
I would hope that a few of us would be able to attend from council at that meeting.
The next one's on November 10th currently. So if we can try to maybe get something done by then, I will try while I'm on vacation.
I mean, as soon as you get some language that you're comfortable with, send it to the rest of council so we can be reviewing it and have questions answered if needed.
I'll have to look through and find out when this is. They have a meeting.
Other comments or questions regarding the salary ordinance? All right, we have a motion and a second for first reading. Roll call, please.
Ms. Blanket? Yes. Hughes?
Yes, for introduction.
Vogel?
Yes.
Stokow?
Yes.
They
Yes.
allegedly
Yes.
have a
Fine.
meeting
Yes.
coming up.
Mr. Brand? What time is that meeting? 10.
A public hearing.
Are we gonna need to post that then?
If only three of us or less attend, then it will not need to be posted. It's just a meeting that Commissioner has for department heads. So I just want to make sure that hopefully a close to final draft is ready by that time. So this important discussion can be had, and conversations can be had there.
And I really
All
want
right,
to.
moving on
I was
to
trying to
appointments
find
and
this
committee
before we
reports.
went live,
Council
but I
has in
just.
front of them a list of council appointments.
Nope, this is still not it.
We're going to need to have a sit down with everybody to have come to us with significant.
So that any of us have this
A new, a replacement.
It's not clear. Number one, and number two, it's
I'm going to have to.
that
For G. And what we discovered was we had some part-time folks that were being
Nope,
paid
that's not it.
paid $15 an hour.
Damn it.
And there are
we account. up
Jackie,
to
do you know where, if you're
404.60.
watching, do you know
Okay,
where
this
in the meeting it
from
was? You said it was close
being
to the
what we're-
end.
I do appreciate those people who are kind and courteous and patient, but there are those that are not. Please do your best to be safe. We want you to be safe. We want to be safe. We all want to go home and see our families at night. Beyond that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jessica, second by Dan. Roll call, please.
Ms. Blanket? Yes. Mr. Hughes? Yes. Ms. Vogel?
Yes.
Stokow? Yes. Piper?
Yes.
Cant? Yes. Ms. Wyatt?
Yes.
Hello.
Stand adjourned.
Right at the end, right? Ready to dismiss or recess
Okay.
about the next month's meeting, the public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll see if I can. All right. I'll see if I can get it to pull
Let
up
us know
in
if
here.
there's a case or courtroom interaction that
They talked about the
Yes.
Yes.
comment.
So that's the max levy amount
Okay.
to the public. I think they're misleading with
It's right towards the end.
That also doesn't take into account.
Okay,
any taxes
all right,
we
thank you
don't
very
collect,
much.
'cause we don't know that number until.
Absolutely.
Right?
Bill, do you think the extra 1%?
All right, it's gotta be right here then.
The countywide TIF districts.
that certainly has an impact. There's no question about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Other
All
comments from council?
Okay.
Well, the one thing we talked about in finance pertaining to that too, it's like some people are talking gross and other people are talking
It
net.
should be
And
here.
when you're not talking the same language, that can make things really confusing too.
The TIF districts, I don't think they're not capped by the 4% tax levy increase, so it's a 100% capture.
Mhm.
So
Other comments from council? All right, I have a comment. Our next meeting, we're
Here
going to
it is.
have a public hearing and it'll start at 9 a.m.
That's the right thing.
Okay. It'll be November 18th, 9 a.m. And the subject is the approval of building lease for the Addiction Recovery and Rehabilitation Center.
Okay.
And then following that public hearing, we'll have a regularly scheduled council meeting.
Okay.
So the public hearing starts at 9, you said?
Starts at 9. Tuesday, November 18th.
So that'll be important to attend.
Beyond that, I know harvest is winding down for a lot of people, but our farm is still,
Okay. So yeah, that's the end of that. So that's all they said about that. So, and that is important because I wasn't able to find anything about this. So this is just going to be ahead of the regular council meeting in November, which will be on Tuesday, November 18th. And that meeting will begin at 9 a.m. But before the regular council meeting would start, they're going to start at 9 a.m. and have a public hearing where they will discuss the lease and all of that because they're the fiscal body. So they will be discussing that, and that will pertain to the lease of that building for the county and for that program. So if anybody that's interested in hearing this will be a meeting for you to either attend or be sure to watch it from home. This will be important, and we will definitely cover that, and all of that will be there. So that's all we have on that, and I will let you know more about it when we have more about it. Hopefully in the next day or maybe couple, I will have the records, and next week we'll have another talk about this, and I can go through the lease with you guys and show it to you and find out if there's anything questionable or whatnot. But I'll tell you, from everything that I'm hearing about this, it sounds like it's going to be a good program, and that they've turned this situation into a positive when it sounded like it was going to be very questionable and it could have been a negative. It's going to be totally different, apparently, if from going what it sounds like now. It's going to be totally different from what the city has with the crisis center, because the city crisis center is an absolute disaster, and it's never been able to be turned into a positive. It's only gotten worse, and it continues to get worse. And I think I'd be surprised if it can hang on much longer. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, the last thing that we're going to talk about before we go, and this is going to be quick, and it's going to be quick because that's just the way that it is, and that's going to be the City Board of Works, the Muncie City Board of Works. And we're going to pull this up. This is all of 4 minutes. This meeting was on Wednesday, and we're going to see right here. Get this pulled up here. Muncie Senator, right here, Muncie Board of Works. Okay, here we go. Ted Baker's not there. Let me tell you this. Very interesting situation here with this. I've been hearing that Mr. Ted Baker has been possibly interested in running for state representative against Sue Arrington. But I think there's some things in Ted's biography, there's some things in Ted's past that he doesn't, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm also hearing on a couple of other people that are possibly interested in running for that seat on the Republican side that I think could really be a good candidate. So time will tell. I'm not ready to divulge all of that, but I'm always interested to talk about something stupid Ted's doing. But really crazy here, it seems like Ted's been missing a bunch of these meetings lately. And my question is, why? Why is Ted missing? Yeah, don't get it twisted. Ted's not the good candidate. Ted would be awful. Ted is not good with money. Ted is just, he's nuts. So I'm not happy about that. But let's listen to this 4-minute meeting.
There we go. Oh, here we are. Hi, good morning.
Oh,
everyone.
listen to Linda shush her.
It will, there we go. Oh, here we are. Hi, good morning, everyone. It will, there we go.
Oh, no, it wasn't Linda. It was the other one. I forget her name always. Lola Maurer. Listen to Linda's getting all excited, and listen to Lola hushing her. Listen, that's crazy.
It will, there we go. Oh, here we are. Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Public Works and Safety.
So weird. And I'm so mad about the blue thing down at the bottom. City of Muncie, communications director, or whoever's doing this, you need to start putting the information down at the bottom of the screen. If Slusher could do it, you got to be able to figure out how to do it. It's getting ridiculous.
29th, and let's have the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have roll call, please. Present. Up next, consideration of the October 22nd minutes, please.
I move approval of the minutes as presented.
I will second that. Any comments or questions about the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving, say aye. Aye. Great. Claims, please.
Here comes the claims.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. Just had some,
it's that easy.
Highlight some of the claims. The paving improvements and sidewalk repairs, et cetera, and then our usual utilities, which we did a second run last week, and I included that on there, and with our health care. And with that, I'll just open it up. Any questions?
I'll just open it up.
I
Any
have
questions?
I have no questions either.
Why would we have questions?
Do we have a motion for the claims?
I move approval of the claims for $1,635,450.
I will second. Any comments, questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approval, say aye. Those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All right, hearing none. All those in favor, second. Any comments, questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Linda?
I have none.
I have no questions either. Do we have a motion for the claims?
I move approval of the claims for $1,635,450.
I will second. Any comments,
Wow.
questions? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
We have one item of new business, the American Structure Point Supplemental Agreement Authorization,
Ooh.
also known as it says, the McGalliard Road East Project.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Good morning.
Good morning. Adam Leach, city engineer. So
Dude, is he
before you
losing
had-
weight? Is he taking the shot? Is he sick? This dude's the incredible shrinking man.
Have basically a supplemental agreement. These are all NDOT standard forms that we have. That's why it doesn't look like our standard professional services agreement.
Holy
It's not.
crap.
NDOT's, basically, this is just requesting the Board of
Wait
Works
till we
to
see his next round of shower photos.
authorize and sign off on supplemental agreement. I think the sum is $268,000.
I'm going to get on that shot he's taking.
Basically, most of that work is for additional
Woo!
survey. That survey comes to the tune of $112,000. Survey is required because based on geotechnical conditions of the roadway.
Geotechnical conditions
mill
of the
and
road.
pave is no longer or was never really a suitable option, so this is for more of a reconstruction. Do a reconstruction, we have to have alignment and, well, particularly vertical
Yeah.
alignment. So when they take the road up, they put it back where it's supposed to go. This is a 80-20 project. The breakdown was included there with your first page. I think our part would be something to the tune of $56,000 plus or minus. And that's kind of it.
Plus or minus.
Did you say that the amount was 112?
That just for the survey
Geotechnical
portion.
sounds
The
very
total
engineering.
amount for the supplement is $268,000, I believe.
Our text shows 120,200.
For the survey or?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
The
oh,
topographic survey.
sorry. 120's.
120.
Whatever's in
Just
the.
want to make sure we.
Whatever's
have
up
the right
there.
numbers.
You're,
You're
it's
correct.
just numbers.
I'm
It's
just pulling the numbers off the top of my head, so
Yeah,
if I'm
well,
in,
that-
yeah.
if I'm in the
So
ballpark, I'm
everybody's-
kind of happy.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's better than where a lot of people in City Hall pull numbers from.
You know,
A lot of people pull
numbers we work
their
with
ass,
in
so
construction.
off the top of your head,
I move approval of the
I'm sure it's fine.
agreement authorization. with
So
American
much
Structure
fun
Point.
stuff to say
Second
based
that.
off of these
Any
idiots.
comments or questions? All right,
Just
hearing
think, if
none.
these people were in
all those in-
Anderson, they could be getting paid $114,000.
Opposed? All right. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Is there any other new business to come before the board today? Right, hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.
But will there be alcohol? But there should be alcohol. That's what she should say. But there should be alcohol. Not will there be alcohol? There should be alcohol. You're totally messing it up, Kate. It should be. There should be alcohol. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to basically the end. So that's what we covered. There was nothing going on there. I do have some emails in about what's going on with the records. I've got some serious records that we need to look at. How much are your Board of Works people paid? Our Board of Works people are paid by state law requirement. They're paid $0. Yeah, here's the deal, Catherine. David Ikes doesn't work for our Board of Works, so no one's getting paid. If David Ikes was getting paid, he was working for our city, he would also be making some ridiculous bullshit number. And I would disagree with it too, because David Ikes is a turd. I'm going to start putting him in that deal with, I'm going to substitute David Ikes and Brad Polk. Tax the alcohol. Yes, right. Don't be jealous of David Ikes. Why would I be? There's nothing to be jealous of. Wait a minute. Do you like David Ikes? I'm confused. David Ikes is borderline a nasty, corrupt public official. That's not no one looks up to those type of people. He is dog shit on the bottom of a shoe. So yeah, I'm definitely not jealous of that guy. Never. The perks must be good. Yeah. Ikes would get a contract with Dan paid out of it. Now that's a very good possibility. I thought Kate was down here moving her arms. It's this guy. I got to get rid of this dude. God, I thought that was Kate. I was like, what is Kate doing? She's down here directing an airplane. Yeah, listen to, it's just like talking. It's no different than talking about, Russ Willis or Sumner or Broderick. I mean, they're all the same. None of them's worth a damn. David Ikes is no better. There is no reason to talk any more special about David Ikes than there is. I keep wanting to call them the same mix. I keep wanting to mix up. I keep wanting to call him Mamrie. What's his name? Ben Gale and the other guy, Rob Steele, and those people. They're all the same people. There's a bunch of nuts. You put them in a bag and you shake them out, and it's all the same. It's all the same. Or Beeman. Oh no. It's listen. See, this is the problem with Catherine. Catherine thinks because I told her how it is and they're doing something wrong in Anderson, she thinks that I was proven wrong. I wasn't proven wrong, and that's not the way that it should be. It's the way that they're doing shit wrong. Like, it's crazy to me that she's got this hard-on for everything going on in Madison County, except this issue with David Ikes and Anderson. I don't understand what that is. That's really weird. I don't know why everything else is a problem except for this one little issue. Doesn't mean that it's right or the right way to do it. It simply means they're doing something that no one else anywhere is doing. And it's more than likely a problem. It's not that he knows how to get paid. It's how they know how to be corrupt. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the same thing as like Russ Willis getting away and not getting charged with what the prosecutor said he was. He just knows how to get away with it. Doesn't mean he's right or wrong. It just means that he knows how to get away with getting right. You mean no more special than Anthony Emery. Emery is who I was thinking of. Emery. I always want to call him Mamrie, which is about the same. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. You knew we had to get it. Hey, Madison County still has water trouble. So we said it. You get it at least 2 times a show, or it's not a show. So you guys have a great evening. It's Thursday. No show tomorrow. No show Saturday. No show Saturday for here. Saturday, though, however, be sure to tune in to the Bilbrey and Clark Show at youtube.com/@Bilbrey Clark Show. because we're going to be talking about aliens. The truth is out there, and a lot of people are excited about that. So it's going to be fun. Tune in and listen to that Saturday at 3 p.m. And then we will be back here for episode 550 on Monday. On Sunday, Sunday, what is that? Oh, it's the 2nd. I thought it was the 1st. Sunday, the 2nd of November. I cannot believe it's November 2nd already. Whew. Sunday, November 2nd, we will be back here for episode 550. You guys take care. Have a great rest of your week, end of the week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here Sunday. God bless. Good night and goodbye.